I would like to make an amendment to the agenda to add agenda item under information from superintendent and administration. Under superintendent's report, a resolution in support of stormwater management plan. Initially, it was added to the agenda and removed it, but the resolution was prepared and ready for today's meeting. So I would like a motion so we can add it back onto the agenda.
I make a motion that I second that.
It's Thank you. It's been motioned by trustee Rose, supported by treasurer Terry, to add agenda item under information from the superintendent and administration for discussion and action. Resolution in support of stormwater management plan. Any questions? Roll call, please. I'm voting yes. Trustee Rose?
Yes.
President Hannah? Yes. Trustee Miller? Yes. Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
That passes 5-0. Thank you. If I can get a motion to approve the amended agenda, please.
So move.
It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by treasurer Terry to approve the amended agenda. Any questions? Roll call. Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Hannah? Yes. Trustee Miller? Yes. Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
No vote yes. That passes 6-0. Thank you. Moving down the agenda to item. Thank you. Moving down the agenda to the recognition of elected officials. See, I know we have state representative Randy Carter. Are there any other elected officials? Thank you. State representative Brenda Carter.
Good evening, Board President Hannah, board members,
Good evening.
Superintendent Deverett, to everyone in the audience, and to our parents at home. It's with great joy that I share exciting news. This Thursday, we welcome a delegation from Pontiac sister city to Satsu, Shiga Prefecture, Japan. This is a very important one because the superintendent and the assistant superintendent of Kusatsu Shiga Prefecture, Japan, will be coming to Pontiac School District. This visit represents more than a cultural exchange. It's a celebration of friendship and mutual respect that have grown between our two cities for 4 decades. We see a living reminder that the friendship right here in Pontiac, the beautiful Japanese garden that sits in between City Hall and the administration building. That garden is more than flowers and stone. It is a symbol of how bonds across continents can take root, flourish, and inspire future generations. This relationship has already touched the lives of our children. For those of you that might remember, I know Candace really does, in 2017, we took 11 middle school children right from Pontiac School District to study in schools in Shiga Prefecture. During this upcoming visit, our friends from Kusatsu will experience the heart of our educational and cultural community. Their itinerary includes a morning visit to ITA, followed by a visit to Pontiac High School, an afternoon tour of Oakland Community College, a visit to Oakland University, and later we will end our day at the Pontiac Public Library. There's a total cultural experience because if you go to the Pontiac Public Library, you will see a Japanese artifact right in the middle of the room. I want to extend my deepest thanks to the Pontiac Library Board, Oakland County, and most importantly, right here, Pontiac School District. I also want to give a great thanks to the City of Pontiac, Mayor Tim Brown, and the City Council for allowing my team to assist them in welcoming this historic visit. But most importantly, the reason why in my heart that I'm doing this is because of two beautiful educators that some of you might know. Nancy Van Hall, and Betty Esmond. They're our ancestors now. And for this reason, I dedicate this whole entire trip to the memory of those two wonderful educators. At the center of what we're doing, we have to remember this, is our children. Those 11 children that went to Japan in 2017, all of them graduated from high school. One of them was the class valedictorian because we opened doors to the world. We eliminated the boundaries that says our children can't when I know we can. So as I close my remarks, I just want to show you how this goes. I have with me 3 of the people that we're mentoring right now. And I'm going to ask each of them to come up and just tell you a little about who they are and where they're from. We're going to start with Pooh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Queen Teray. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Pontiac, Michigan. My family is from Gambia. It's a continent in West Africa, or a country in West Africa. I am doing a mentorship with Brenda Carter, Sarah's doing Brenda Carter, doing lit drum. So I initially met Brenda Carter doing an engineering internship in Pontiac, and she came in last year and said I would love some interns for my lit drum. I was one of the first people out of between 15 and 20 students to step up and say that I was interested. Because of who my family is, and specifically my mother, Rukia Day, she said, make sure you're seen as a leader. Make sure she sees your face, get her phone number, email, text her, call her, do something to where she knows your face. So I did so, and I reached out to Ms. Carter and said I was interested. And at that time, I didn't know that she was going to put me in a leadership role. She was like, okay, make sure you get your team together. After I reached out to her, I was like, team? And she said, get your team together, bring it to this address. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. You're the boss. I was like, oh, okay. So then I did what she told me to do. It was important because she was teaching me those leadership skills that my mother is always trying to instill in me, as well as soft skills like communication and things I want to do. For example, having to collect a different array of people that aren't always on the same page, and make them stay on the same page, make sure they're understanding everything you're teaching them. They're doing it exactly how it's supposed to do. For example, she's taught them that dropping, don't put anything in anybody's mailbox. And I teach my people it's illegal, don't do it. You have to make sure you stay on track. So she's teaching me life skills and specifically how politics is important, how it affects me and kids like me, and where it can get me in life. For example, my sister is she's a student at North Carolina A&T, and she's a political science major. So having a political science degree won't just take me one place, it can take me multiple avenues, and that's what Brenda Carter started with, as well as soft skills that I've mentioned, like communication, patience, because I definitely have that patience, and that affects me, and I'll be able to take into different aspects.
Hello, my name is Jyotsna. I'm 17 years old and my family is from India. I grew up in Mumbai. The reason I initially reached out to Representative Carter is because I wanted to the experience of working with someone who represents a close-knit community such as Pontiac. When I reached out to her, I was only initially looking for volunteering opportunities. However, she reached back out to me and she was so excited to get me on the team and in this mentorship program. And even though I joined recently in July and I'm a high school senior, I already had the opportunity to experience so many unique events, such as the block party, help assist in the block party last week at a community school, attend a city hall meeting, and speak at a Board of Education meeting. I want to thank everyone here for listening, and thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Damiana. I'm Rep. Carter's Director of Constituent Services, and she brought her. She hired me. I'm from Albania. Got a big personality, and when she told me about you, I'm bored. She said, "You are?" I said, "Oh, I am. I have a passport. I got my money for a ticket. Let's go." And it made me feel like home because a lot of the Japanese culture is culture. But learning more and learning about the insurance world, whether it was the trail insurance,
And it was just incredible to kind of bring those views back to Michigan and kind of see what we can implement and what we could do and how we can better our community. And if y'all have any questions, are more than welcome to reach out to our office, 517-373-7 is our phone number. Thanks, guys.
So as you can see, this is not a pit stop for me. This is lifelong passion. And those of you who knew me when I was on the school board and know me now that I'm in the House, I'm still going to fight for teachers. I'm still going to fight for healthcare. I'm still going to fight for our students because they deserve the absolute best. Can I get you guys to give these young people another round of applause? Thank you, board. Thank you, board president, superintendent, for this opportunity, and now we're leaving.
Thank you, State Representative Carter.
Oh, I love this part.
Can I get a motion for the approval of the consent agenda?
So move.
It's been moved by trustee Rose, supported by treasurer Terry for the approval of the consent agenda. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Rose,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
oh, sorry, Treasurer Tier.
Yes.
And that passes five.
Right, thank you. Next, information from the superintendent and administration, Dr. Leverett, meeting closed.
Thank you, President Hannah, trustees. Good evening, everyone. We are just delighted to have with us volunteers from GM Student Corps Program. Mr. Steve Bonner and Ms. Maddie Ellis will come forward and share some highlights of what our students have experienced by participating in this program and our plans for a continued partnership. Just very happy and excited to have them with us this evening to share. And we'll turn it over to Mr. Bonner.
Superintendent Lever, President, and this esteemed board, is indeed an honor and a privilege as well as a pleasure to be with you this evening, to just share with you a little information about this wonderful program called the GM or Jerry Lewis Student Corps. This is a professional development program for high school students. Traditionally, we hire juniors. This year we had 80 students that we hired. They served as General Motors interns for the summer. And it's a professional development program that I mentioned where it is our responsibility as retired mentors is to enlighten the eye of their understanding about what things that really happen in the real world. We know that things, they see a lot of stuff on social media, and this sometimes kind of motivates them in the wrong direction. So we have an opportunity to mention that and talk about things such as vision. We know that vision creates hope, and hope pulls them into the future. Vision, the individual ability to see the invisible. Vision, right? So vision creates hope, and that pulls them into a future and focus them on what they need to do to bring that vision into manifestation. So we as leaders, we present leadership skills and principles so that they have a good understanding of what they're up to and what they should be looking like as a leader. As a leader, not only in the future, but now. So we have Miss Maddie Ellis with us as well. Our responsibilities again as retired members, we also have with us during the summers, we have a college intern that serves as a program specialist to get to lead them and guide them through particular deliverables that they're responsible to accomplish as leaders, So I'm gonna have Ms. Maddie talk a little bit more about those.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. What we do with our students is not just with Pontiac High School, this program with General Motors. It's with 14 other high schools across Southeast Michigan. And we have the privilege of only spending 8 weeks with them. It's a very tedious, programmable, fun, engaging leadership opportunity. And so we use this roadmap as a stage of the 8 weeks that we spend together. We are really set on helping them achieve, as Mr. B said, their vision. It's about leadership, not just leading, but being a servant of a leader. And so we do volunteer work. We do life skill work. We are always engaged in projects not only for the community, but for the school as well. And as we do those projects, we have them become leaders of those projects, those various projects that we do. So each leader creates the plan, creates the budget, follow through with all of the details to make that plan come to fruition. And so we spend a day in the life of a student at John Motors, that's UD Mercy College, a day in the life of a student. We spend time and having them look at artificial intelligence at a GM location and various other locations. We spend time with them financial day, where they learn about the importance and how to manage money. So we spend time doing resume writing, skill building, LinkedIn, which is an opportunity for them to post for job opportunities. And then we really have a live, what is called a mock interview, where we have not just internal to us, we actually have a company come in and do mock interviews with them to show them what it is that's necessary. One of the basic backgrounds that we use as we talk to the students is how are you living? Not just how are you living in front of somebody, but how are you living outside when nobody else is watching? And so that's where the leadership comes into position. So we have a very rigorous 8 weeks that we spend with them, and we end with the opportunity for them to share what they've done during the summer with some executives. They present, they end up dining with a five-star kind of setting with servers, and we spend a few hours learning etiquettes. Because we learned that sometimes when students sit around and eat, they tend to do things like grabbing their food and leaning on the table. And so we spent a few hours learning about etiquettes, which translates into a real life experience on the final day with leaders. So that's it in a nutshell of what we do. Now I'd like to introduce to you at least 3 of our students out of the 8.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Martinez. I'm an incoming senior at Pontiac High. It's my last year, thank God. This program, it really did a lot for me. I feel like a lot of the students at our school, they don't really get opportunities. And for like lower grading classes, like students who don't do as well in school, it really like gives them opportunity to want to do better, because the students who do get better grades, like we get different opportunities. Like we have to have a certain GPA that we can get in this program. And I feel like that really makes them want to thrive for it. I did do a lot of stuff in this program. I got to do a lot of community service. I did work at my own school. I did work at the courthouse. I got to go to a Boys and Girls Club. So it also made me put myself out there more. I got to introduce myself to almost 100 different people. A lot of introducing. And Mr. B, he was really great. He taught me a lot of lessons. And I feel like, I really connected deeply with both my mentors. And like Ms. Betty said, she brought up the question, how are you living? It made me realize, like, life is more than I can make it, and, make a difference in life rather than just grind through. And what else? That's good.
Hi, my name is John what's up? I'm a copy TDM class. Hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm a company TDM class high school, and I was one of the playing badges for the courthouse. Yeah, I would say it was very fun managing around, planning the budget and stuff like that.
Hi everyone, my name is Johnson Spielman. I'm an incoming senior at Pontiac High School. I was also one of the project leads for the courthouse at the Armed Forces program. It taught me a lot about what I need to work on as a leader, and I realized that I need to learn how to smile more and introduce myself and talk to people. I also learned that I need to work better on my time management. This program taught us a lot of skills that we needed. Practicing with interviews while doing this job was really tedious. Doing this during the week and also having a second job part time in the seasons. So I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to learn and thank you for the great pay they offered since I was at the go party to me and my friends. I was able to work on my budgeting and saving money. I think I have about $200-300 saved in. I plan on putting more in there, trying to save it for the car eventually. About
Take your time, so. Take your time.
thank you.
As Mr. Melly mentioned, these are three of the excellent students that we had an opportunity to speak into their life. With a focus on continuous improvement, you would be surprised that these guys, some of them, they couldn't stand and speak before people at all. So this is part of their training to public speaking, to the posture and how you speak. With the focus on the spirit of excellence in everything that they do. Not only just as a student, being the best that they can be wherever they are. So again, Superintendent Leverett has been handling this illustrious and esteemed board. We appreciate the opportunity. We've been doing this since 2013 at the Pontiac High. So each year we pull up our sleeves and hope to make an impact on the folks that we love. Thank you.
Dr. Leverett. Back to you.
Thank you. I just want to say, Mr. Bonner, Ms. Ellis, to the students, thank you so much. We appreciate the longstanding partnership and just look forward to, this is what we mean when we say, let's pour into our students. They spoke so eloquently. Project management is a very heavy lift, as well as finance and budgeting. But these are all the skills that our students have, whether they're going to college or right into the career workforce. These are skills that they are going to have for a lifetime. We are thankful. With that being said, we have an update on our Pontiac Reimagine Phase 1 to 2, and we'll have that presentation from Bill Holcomb and Marvin Beasley. Bill and Marv, as you know, as they're coming to the podium, they came fast. But we embarked on this conversation many months ago, and that work is now coming to fruition. As we think about the future of education, we must respond in a different manner that is going to yield us outcomes both academically, socially, emotionally, and that engage our students at high levels. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Bill and Mark. Good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Leverett. Good evening, Dr. Hannah, board. Stand up, open your middle so we're all going to see each other. Give Mr. Gross the same guy. I would. Guys, I think we'll go to the next slide, please. So we want to kind of recap where we're at today with the phase one, chapter one, in our reimagination plan, with summer. So what we've been able to do this summer at WHRC, where the ITA LA program is integrate, the island program, normal, classrooms within the ITA program. We've also moved to Peace Academy from Cross Elementary School. There are 17 classrooms and special ed classrooms at that building. They've taken occupancy the south wing of this building. That one is completed. We're doing a little bit of internal shuffling of the classrooms, but they're all space. We're also continuing with our transportation center relocation. The initial schematic design phase has been completed. Now we're doing initial programming in that program where we have soil companies come out and take soil samples, make sure that the ground can support all of the buses and put them better in there will not fall off our slide. So we wanted to review some of the costs that we presented to you initially. So the Peace and ICA integration plan, we were initially budgeted $741,692.74. The actual costs for that program, very much new Mr. Beasley, standing on top of us for every dime, actually cost $373,465. Seeing the cost avoidance then of $368,227.74 and be attributed to other programs. The transportation center, $3.5 million budget. To date, we've only incurred $55,840. That's for the architectural work and the initial boring samples. That number will increase as we go down the path with that. And the mandatory renovation. We budgeted just over $1.5 million. We really haven't gotten anywhere on that yet because we've been focusing on Harrington and some of the other programs just taking up the summer. So that we'll begin kicking off having programming meetings within next slide. So where could we be going? So once the dust settles from this, we're looking at the next phase, chapter 2 phase. Which is actually phase 1B, we're calling this. Because we initially presented this fall as the first phase, and now we're seeing later in the year, so you see a good turning point on that. So what we're looking at is the administration relocation from the administration building for Bell Nails to the second floor of this building. We'd be relocating special services for WHRC to Kennedy, relocating the Pontiac Youth Assistance from WHRC to the Pontiac High School in the old teen health area. If anybody's familiar with that, that would be where CT is located now. The reason that they put that there is there's an entrance off the back of the school with the ramp and the access of that building. And then relocating Department of Health and Human Services from WHR's second floor down to the first floor. Additionally, the SFE program, which is our food service company, they would be relocating A6 at the high school from the administration building. Project Excel will be located at the high school in the A wing, and Open Schools technology staff that's over the administration building would be embedded within the schools. Will be associated with the curriculum department, which we work so closely with them, should be set up with them. And then the other thing that's left over there at the administration building is the technology and that's where all our fire equipment in the district. Depending on what we do with that building, it would be located over here, sold building, or the building, or it gets staged within our control. We do that, and not have to We do have fiber running from there to there, just not enough to get and so costs, because of the way the administration building is set up, the way that this building is set up, we have plenty of furniture here. You know, we did a walk through, Martin and I, Dr. Leverett, a week or so ago, to just get familiar with the space, wherever it was located. We think we can relocate, move, pick up bodies for about $20,000. It wouldn't be one massive move. We move departments one by one on the rest time allocated on. It's not student impacted, so we can really take our time to get them up. Again, relocating the head end, depending on what happens to the building, that's a $500,000 budget to do that. This is going almost 5 over a year. And the other thing is the mandatory budget, as mentioned earlier, $1.5 million that will go towards the programming of that space. So, as I mentioned in the first phase, and again, this is put it up there for discussion only because this is just supposed to be a conversation starter. The preschool, which is a complete project, we saw that as improving alignment with kindergarten, promoting retention of our key students to stay in Pontiac, safety improvement for those students moving from Frost over here to WHRC. What we're envisioning for the elementary school is banding. A K through 2 set of schools, 3 through 4 in another set of schools, and 5 through 6 in another set of schools. We see that as an increased focus on social emotional learning, stronger alignment for curriculum and learning, embedded professional learning, and instructional support for level 1 English learners with certified ESL teachers. We also think that over at the middle school, that should be 7 through 9 grades in the middle school. Secondary curriculum alignment, stronger integration and preparation for high school, increased focus on social emotional needs, improved instructional support with sheltered classrooms for English learning students. And then at the high school, we would envision changing that from 10th grade to 12th grade, creating an improved curriculum alignment and expanded opportunities and potential course offerings for those students.
If I may mention.
Yep.
Before you continue, if I'm sorry,
No.
I need to make this clear. These are just recommendations you give us, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Has the board voted on this?
No. This is just a briefing.
I need to make it clear, I don't want to be bombarded, in the next board meeting, saying that, the board is voting on this day, change, elementary, middle school, high school. These are all just, are we just now seeing this, other than getting it in our board pack?
Yes.
Thank you.
Point of information, what did we vote on in April as it related to Pontiac Reimagined? Just a question. What did we vote on in April?
So it was that first phase, to move the preschool over, begin the natatorium and technology, for the transportation. Those were the 3 items we were allowed to move forward with at that time.
Thank you for clarity. So why is the transportation center moved over to phase 2? Is it because it's not completed in phase 1?
There was no intention of completing it in phase 1. When we brought it to you, it was 8 to 10 weeks to design it. We started designing that in June, towards the end of June, once school ended. So that progression of time is now hit. Now we're going to the next portion of that. So we have the initial, what's called a schematic design. So we have a layout of where all the equipment goes, where the buses go. Now we have to overlay that with boring samples of that plan to make sure that it doesn't, there's no peat moss under it or liquid or anything like that, so that it's staying the weight of that. So that's an environmental study that has to be done now that kind of. So that would be an ongoing process. The goal is to get this out to bid, by November. Hopefully open ground prior to the frost setting in for the winter, and then finish up in the spring.
Thank you.
After, looking at, foundation and things like that, are you certain that we'll be able to have charging stations to, not charging stations for all buses?
So we already have the charging stations. So the first round of our EPA funds, we've purchased the charging stations. Those are sitting stored at the health center. So those are already purchased. With the first round of 25 buses that we're starting to get delivered to, we haven't feeding them now, delivered on site. The charging stations, they have what are called whips. So if you're familiar with the one over at the administration building, it's one charging station, but there's two ports that come off of it. So the configuration, at the full transportation center will have a variety of those. Some of the stations can support up to 5 sequential buses being charged at the same time. Some have 3, some have 2, some are single. They're all called DCFC, which are high-end chargers. They'll charge the bus about 3.5 hours from 0 to 100. If you plug in a car there, which you do, like our EV vans, those take about 15 to 20 minutes to charge on these chargers on our high-end chargers.
And
So
what is the time that you're thinking that?
We're hoping to break ground by November, or before the frost comes in, because then frost will also get back and keep heavy equipment across the roads. So in the springtime, that facility would, that's what we're targeting to have that online. In the meantime, we're looking at opportunities at the Nelson for temporary charging for the buses, so we can get them on the road. I actually go tomorrow to the Secretary of State, title transfer, into the district's name of all of those buses, or the first 25 buses. We're ordering the second 15, through MSP. And that's really where we're at today. This is, where we're envisioning the buildings, just based on the size of the buildings, counts of the different bands. So over at Alcott, that's conducive to, 5th or 6th grade over there, based on the number of classrooms and the head count for those students. This is based on, the enrollment numbers that we had about a week ago. Harrington Elementary could be a 3rd through 4 elementary school. It has 25 classrooms. There'll be 7 of those classrooms open. Starting over at Alcott, there's 21 classrooms. The head count there would be 6 of those classrooms open for future expansion or students, whatever we do there. Rockford Elementary would be one of our 2 K through 12 buildings, with 14 classes over there. And Whitman Elementary would become another K through 12, K through 2 building, out of the 17 classrooms, and those would remain open. Pontiac Middle School would be 7 through 9. That enrollment count would be 598, roughly, based on current numbers. And over at the high school, 10 through 12, that would be 591 students. Over at Kennedy Center, the special education program that's there would remain untouched. Because of the banding, Bowman Elementary School would not have to be located there. Those students would be absorbed into the counts of the other buildings. So then that gives you the opportunity, as we've discussed in the past, for the adult education center there and PASS program. We have about 16 classrooms there where the space that Owen took up that we use for other programs. Additionally, as you asked, what are you going to do with Frost? So Frost Elementary School, we've had some interesting conversations. As of late, actually, earlier this morning, we met with Oakland County Parks and Rec and the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. We're looking at potentially, this is all just off the press, maybe a PAL program over there, some community service over there. We've discussed things like the potential for having, emergency housing over there out of that building, so a whole lot of community services provided out there. Potentially let's call it a substation over there where there's, sheriff's officers are housed there, they come in, they get coffee or donuts. People, party car things that we used to do, but it gives us 24/7 coverage of that building. To help secure the programs that are there, help secure the buses that are there, a lot of potential ideas could come out of that. We'll have a follow-up meeting the next week with those players and Dr. Butterett, which is part of the today conversation. That's the second conversation with them. So they're very excited about it. Working with us, to see how it's in the future.
Personally, I think that Al, they've been a nice, partner of Pontiac, absolutely. Those I can remember, that's y'all, absolutely. That's a good service that we've been doing for many, many years, so that's something I'd love to see. Since I was 6, so, question. With looking at these partnerships and discussion, also, absorbing some of the costs of the things of the building and things to the utilities. That would take some of the financial burden off of the district if we were in partnership, put them in that building, right? I'm sure we're saving some money. Conversation. Absolutely. So I'm gonna make sure that's part of the conversation. Thank you.
Any other trustees?
Yes, trustee Martin, thank you. As it relates to phase one, I saw in the slide that you said that when the adjusted classrooms and the integration with ILA, ICA, and WHRC, that it said many rooms were completed. So is it safe to say that it wasn't completed to 100%?
So all of the rooms are completed. Well, when I said many, we moved some of the ILA programs into the K-5 program by ITA. We moved some of the 6 through 12 classrooms within the building to accommodate larger spaces for some classrooms that needed larger spaces. So I think we moved actually, the piece moved only 17 over the 40 special ed classrooms, 20 classrooms. We moved more than 40 within the WHS. Just alone. That's what I mean.
Follow-up question, on the same topic. My concern has been, and it still is, since we talked about this, it's first introduced in the beginning of March, I'm sorry, the end of February 27th to be exact. I still have the same level of concern, is that there are a lot of uncertainties. When it was presented, you said that we think that this will be okay for our students. But what I haven't heard and I appreciate hearing is any data, any consultant, professional coming through to evaluate what these ideas are and tell us or give us an opinion. Are they conducive for a proper learning environment for our students? Instead of us just kind of thinking about it for what will be convenient, or I don't know what the thought process is, but I would like to see some data, a case study, anything of science that will make me feel comfortable to support this drastic move without it just being like, okay, we think this is gonna work, because for me, that's what I'm hearing as a parent. And I have the same level of concern I had in February that I now have in August. I just really, I don't feel solid about this. I don't feel like there has been really much discussion, because it's the same, correct me if I'm wrong, presentation that was initially proposed on February 27th.
Initially, the program, the presentation at that point was to ITA over to the high school. Received lots of time back in that. So that's why we changed the programming a little bit to keep ITA all within this building and incorporate scanning over here.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe, because I've seen this before, all of it was included, and the only thing that was changed was the ITA, not the supplying the guide. But all the other information was the same. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong?
No, that's right.
So trustee Miller, we can get that information to you because these grade level configurations that we have discussed for a number of months now, there is research to substantiate exactly what you're looking for. So we will make sure that we get that to you as well as the numbers of the landscape of the district shrinking and the need for us to be intentional about how we service and teach students and how teachers would have more flexibility to be intentional, whether we're talking about additional interventions or whether we're talking about an opportunity to excel student learning with these grade bands. But there is evidence-based research to support these grade bands. Well, thank you, Dr. Wingred, and I would really appreciate seeing that, at your earliest convenience, if you can submit that to me. Thank you.
President Terry.
Good evening. Just had one question. In regards to transition staff over to the HRC, even the little history or rationale behind and in parallel to that, I guess, potential language or thoughts that the new program, what's the, I guess, should plan to do that. But over there, there'll be several conversations on the side of DC. You've had conversations with people who walk already with a group who's interested in looking at the building. They're going to be some building now, to be buying the building. They already did that already with one person already, so we look at that. But as far as moving staff over at WRC, you can do a mini walkthrough with that and kind of see if that a good fit. It really is, in my opinion. It's opinion, so it's not that set in stone. Based on the amount of money put in this building, how nice this building is, I concerned that to me with the open space and things of that nature. To give that service to the district. This is my opinion, I think it's a better place for the board to be. Other school districts have done that, putting a board inside the schools. So it is being done. But again, it's based on the needs of the district, how the building is served better, and how it will be inside the building, such as administration. It's a good fit. That's my opinion.
When we did the initial facilities condition assessment for the district, the upgrading of that building with air conditioning, boiler system, the breaking out carpeting, it's has a lot of flooding problems, historically every year. Yeah. It's Jason floods there.
That's the reason why. It's the.
That's it.
And that's the history of the administration.
That's something that probably
Like 30 years ago, the air is bad, ceiling, everything's falling apart.
Yeah, you want to put it down.
Okay, well, let's say that.
It was about $4 million. About $4 million.
$4 million, $4 million, $4 million.
Get 20,000. The numbers that you see.
Thank you.
I do have a question, Dr. Leverett, in regards to the banning of the grades. I did see the Senate Education Committee held a hearing on K-3 class sizes. And I'll just share with you what it says. On Tuesday, the Senate Education Committee heard testimonies on Senate Bills 493 and 494. The bill would limit class sizes to no more than 19 students in K-3 grade classrooms. The bill is based on research showing that smaller classes lead to improved educational outcomes, both immediately and in the long term. And of course, in this, they talk about funding, grant funding will be established to support this. So my question is, as it relates to the banding that you're suggesting or you're proposing, will this help us to have smaller class sizes as well? Just so that we're in alignment with what the Senate is trying to pass as it relates to Bill 493.
We are very hopeful. I know a decision has not been made, but we are very hopeful. We know historically that lower class sizes in K-3 have yielded some significant results for children. So yes, we hope.
Question for everyone. Hypothetically speaking, if it were to pass, will our classroom, will we have enough classroom space to be conducive? Because right now, we have enough space on 25, correct? And if this were to pass and go into effect, and that affects a lot of this building, are we conducive to make those changes? Because we've now made changes, adding across to some more. And now we go down to 19 students from a 30 classroom student. We prepared to do that in the school.
So this plan, the banding, did not include IT.
What is it?
The IPA program is out for you. Don't touch that.
What about
There are rooms within the building. I had 6 available rooms. So there's room that's spread out.
I want to make sure that, because we've had too many timeouts with the kids, based on instruction and chambers and everything. And if this can be done without affecting, the education of children, we need to go swiftly. Are we prepared for that? If not, we can look into that. You know what I'm saying? I like to think ahead instead of thinking, there's one thing to look at. I like to be proactive and we. Yes. Absolutely. So we make sure that we have plans in place and not wait till the last one.
And then let us remember, this is for the 26-27 school year. So we will be intentional in using this year to put our plan in place unless we have something allow us to do it more expeditiously, but we get along enough. So the gift of time, being able to plan wisely. It has been good.
So, will this also part of this?
This legislation that President had is just for catering.
What the banding does, so he did 7 through 9 with the middle school, the space that's available. The building space.
Yeah.
1,600 students. Yeah. Maybe 200 students. So you have 600 students. Yeah. One of them, we have the space. Now, the other flip side of that is staffing. You have to be able to have staffing to support the class too.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have another question. On the presentation, I noticed that there was no mention of ITA or ILM. What are you, as you're thinking, what are the plans for supporting or growing those programs? Is there any plans in the near future to support those programs or advance those programs or do anything that we're mentioning at all?
Because we're planning that question. There's space within this building if they need to grow, that they can grow into. I don't honestly know what that looks like. It could go from 25 students, 30 students per classroom. With their scheduling, there is some space here.
Any other questions?
So this also folds into the next presentation, like construction management company about the bond. You can hopefully some similar resonating things that we've done, between the bond portion of it,
Good job.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mark, for some to Cody Saxon. And he's going to provide some updates on work at Harrington. We are very, very close.
Get those people there, the home fund. Okay, that's good. Don't
Good
swim.
evening. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, Cody Farmer with Saxon Construction, project bond program. My left here is Frank Bergman. He is our superintendent, that's been running projects out here. So, tonight we're going to give you an update, a little bit of an update this past year. Thanks to the board and this, kind of take over and really enhance the schools here. So, next slide, please. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, a little background, the school, roughly around 50,000 square feet. We did a total infrastructure upgrade, new finishes throughout the building, parking lot upgrades, exterior envelope upgrades, so new windows, doors, like that around, new secure vestibule for the school. So now everyone has some fun right into the main office as a building. So some key highlights here. When we came back to the board back in 2024, during October area timeframe, the board approved original contract value, including contingency of $10,216,000 $3,000. That included contingency costs. So right now, what we're projecting is a final cost of $9,281,341. Now, with that, it's around $1 million in savings back to the bond program. So right now, we're working, we're finishing out, we're reconciling all the trade partners and contractors out there with the contracts. And kind of on the right side, it's going hard to see, but so this is what we track every week, go through this with our trust team, Pontiac. Looking at the contingency and how much is used, what percentage we can track and everything, and what amounts is used are built into the contractor's contract. So right now, we're projecting as an expense, we just a little over $1 million coming back from this project back into the bond. So with that, it's like 700, here, 100,000 of contingency coming back, and then a little over 300. And then with the pre-purchase equipment package that was already bought out prior to us being here, there's a contingency factor that was never touched. So I think it's around 450,000 that's coming back, that's allocated right now into the bond program. So overall, very successful project at the end of it, and then just gives the district more opportunity to pursue projects as we go on here.
Question? Yeah. We go to the next one. I'm glad you said that. That was one. Second question. But because this money is coming back, you can say that we can use it for other projects, not specifically on that. When can we start to use that? No, you don't say. Because now, you may, is it upon completion of hearing? Because what if you run for something else and you have to buy money that is set?
Okay, so right now, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so everybody is finishing their projects and we're getting through the punch list and any open items that are there. So that contingency will stay in place for a month or so, in case anything pops up or anything that's out of the ordinary that is needed to cover. That'll stay in place. So we're towards the end of August, probably September, October, start the credit back to the district.
And that's why I asked, because if there's some specific things that out of school, high school, all those things. And that gives us extra money before we go through some process of credit. But the money's be there to be utilized, right? Right. For any other project that pertains to the bond. Correct. Thank you, Madam.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so also for those of you who don't know, we showed the slide before in one of the other board meetings. This is the school on your right hand side here. It's broken up into 3 sections, L, A, B, and C. It's kind of works in the building. Go to the next slide. Okay, so what you're looking at here is before and after picture. Now, the Phoenix was already in the middle when we got here, but you can see what the gymnasium looked like before. And right there, on the right side is the average. Air conditioning inside that gymnasium. Now. And what the difference is, especially when you those weeks here recently, what a difference that made in that space. That's all new lighting in that space. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, so, and the left side is the old stage that was there. So the same stage, just upgrades and enhancements, new stage curtains, as you can see. Behind those curtains is new stage lighting, new projector screen that's up there, And that back wall is all blacked out, there's new technology up there. Up there, and that's it out there. I'll just say that space. Floor was refinished in that area, which you can see has shine there. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there's not really before and after, this is kind of during and after. This is going down the main corridor on the left side, from the main entrance, and then down the hallway next to that school. And then the picture in the middle, that's your same look running right down that hallway. Then picture to the far right is if you turn around and look back facing the main entrance. Such a dramatic difference on what we said before. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so for those of you who've been in the building, on your left side, I didn't have a good before picture, but thanks, yes, and Brian. We got some good before pictures. In this space here, you can kind of see the old metal panel walls in the space. On the right side is a look when you first step into the office, it looks like the house. So walls with Pontiac doors, new ceiling lighting, and air conditioning. But whole new space for that office. Sorry. Okay, so this is like kind of the gem of the project for us at least. This was the old boiler room in this space. You can see how it's very antiquated, outdated. As far as boiler room. Go to the next slide, please. You see total transformation here. Doors, just totally new space. Right? Yeah, all the boilers, bombs, separators, everything. So it's really just a fantastic space now. Our wants to go back to work there. It used to have a field. All right, next slide. Okay, so this was a unique room in the space. It's supposed to be a training room within the building. Just some before pictures. Go to the next slide, please. So this room was transformed, the windows were blocked in, and this is your new, all new electrical and life safety generator, all the panels within the space. So it's within a classroom or a training room. And now it's where everything lives, all the new DC power that was brought in, went from 480 down to 208. All new service to the building and all landed right inside this room. It's really immaculate, we continue and all the coordination efforts that serve this power and light. Highway routing, very impressive space as well. So, okay, so this kind of really gives you a look of this was down in the lower L section of the school, existing picture to the left, and then same view looking down the hallway. Let's see here, but new flooring, new ceilings, new lights. The ceilings that used to be there were almost stable right to the ceiling. There's probably just a few inches of flares just kind of ran and dropped. Now, ceiling's lower to have new HVAC, new lighting, better environmental. So that's why you can see kind of a drop on the right side. It's how the ceiling drops. Next slide. Okay, so some other upgrades within the space. Here's an existing, cabinet millwork that's in the space. This is all the things for me. And on the right side of there is just a new countertop and cabinets, sinks. There's new picture you see drinking top on the right side. Now would be something vegetable flavor. That's fine. Okay. So this is back in we call it area C, so the building the upper L. This is the exact same room. So left side is the existing room, and on the right side is the new current room. So really just sitting at the next level. On the right side, you can see the surface mounted lighting, and now you get all LED panels. Speakers, electronics, smart board, is everything is easy. Next slide. Okay, this is back down in the lower L here. This is on the left side, existing classroom. So I think that's just raised that way, but in this, what we're out right now, all the classrooms have vertically unit elevators. They all have air conditioning, or that's not. These units also have service for those which is what I'm saying. But in these areas, inside the bathroom, so you can see the new floors, new doors in there, throughout the space. All new windows, and that's coming down as well. We took over one for the air distribution unit. Really just overall change the space down. Next slide. So, for those of you, this is the first for me, going into the kindergarten bathroom, it's taking slides. What's not shown here is also the toilet, should be as well, it was, was maybe 9 foot off the ground. Really fun to see, but total transformation of space just looks happening. So this is in the lower house, in the building, almost like we call them Jack and Jill bathrooms. There's boys and girls in each room. This is the left side, an existing picture. You can see with the girls out way. On the right side, new partitions, new toilets. Like, next slide. Okay, so this is the lower out elementary. This is that upper out. This is an existing bathroom. Just little partitions and things in there. If you go to the next slide. Totally new, all new lighting is really brighten up that space and just such a different experience. This is the women's bathroom, not their girls' bathroom. So. This is the boys' bathroom, just next door, right? They'll slip in the partition to urinals, and just some mirrors, and so overall, our meeting time as well. If you go to the next slide, please. Same thing, totally revamped, really just stepped it up here. Next slide. Okay, this is back in the upper L as well. Kind of we've got those on-suite offices within the space that kind of surround the media center there. This is starting construction on the left side, and on the right side is the facility today. So this is like another crown jewel of the place. Very close to the president's one. So when you're there, the ceiling in the space it kind of goes up and down as you go throughout. This was early in the morning when the lights are on. Just total change. Really enhances the exterior level. But you kind of see the pictures that you found there. Okay, so this is before picture of what the building would look like. Next slide. Totally changed it. Zero parking lot. You just had a picture of symbols. Totally transformed. Next slide. On the left side here, you can see the beginning of the building is darker brown. And the windows throughout. The middle there, the front is different view at school and the school as much going around the district. New EV marketing charging for the district fans, we're going to want to use it. And he says, kind of like so this is in the back half of the building here. This is what we had. Clear up all the parking lot concrete over here to get new power in the building. Thanks to talking with Margaret and the facilities crew, we brought the guys closer to the building. So now we can space after traffic across the parking lot. That one about just general. That's we can get closer, and then right there in your enclosure, you have your transforming your light safety. And new lot lights popping up the basketball courts out there, so there's no one driving out there and trying to preserve that basketball court. Then out on the road here, you can see the mechanical equipment. Probably you know, service in the gym. You all the newer class. Here's the basketball courts, another view that you can see the new doors, into the gymnasium, storage doors on the outside there. We didn't want to come in all the hours up there. He's a sports market there. And I think some people may have kind of look at the people. So with that, all of them is to pull up. All of the inspections are completed. School looks out and that administration reference did, I was the administration affairs, custodian to that, and I don't think, where if you get a chance to come out and visit, or everyone will visit, please do.
We have a date set for the 21st.
Yeah, we're better.
4:35.
No. So, this is just what kind of we're gonna do. Put the video together, you know, what it was before and then. So, amazing feat. Thank you for allowing us to take here to really get this done, and not get this built right, take time to it.
Trustees, any questions or comments?
It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's good. It's great. Thank you.
Yes.
It's right on time.
It's a great partnership. I appreciate everyone that played a part in this. We started our true sense of team effort. We shoot the ball forward around us. For percent, their partnership with us. And I like the fact that Dr. Everett takes that was like, the five, really appreciate that. Still the phone was, she came to all of us, and we can make sure I get corrected. Then you bring something to the city and the school district. Very proud. Excellent.
Well, we know that you have, without the families, the kids seeing it just yet, I know you have, I know they're gonna love it. And so we appreciate you, because from the beginning, you guys have been thorough, you have kept us abreast of everything. And most importantly, I think what we really appreciated was that this project was done under budget. So, I mean, I'm so impressed, and thank you so much, Cody and team, for working with us and delivering a A+ product.
I really don't think Frank, you look for busy seconds. Good guy. Thank you.
Secretary, anything you want?
Just one thing, I know, like I said, we go on Thursday,
Yes.
but for the community, there'll be an opportunity for the community to have the opportunity to come to the walk with like house or something, just so that they can actually go in and see
Yeah,
the things that are happening.
I think that is the plan. I don't know, the date has been
There's an open house, I believe, on August 27th.
August 27th.
3 to 5.
August 27th, 3 to 5 will be the open house at Harrington Elementary. Anything else, Trevor? Trustee Miller?
I just want to say thank you for your presentations. Every time you present it, I'm always saying thank you for the accuracy, thank you for the data, thank you for the numbers. And being right spot. I appreciate that. I don't know what Harrington looked like before, but it's not a really now. So I just want to say thank you for that. Well, I do know what it looked like because you showed the picture. I haven't seen it in my own eyes, but I'm excited to see the work that you've done to do.
Thank you again. All right. Linda?
We'll keep it moving. At this time, we'll turn it over to the communications department, and that includes Heidi Pickwas, Alicia White, and Frank. This is a communications report update only. The Pontiac School District Communications Department is a multifaceted department that covers many channels of communication and touches all areas of the district, and is a key link to the community and additional stakeholders. As we approach the start of the school year, the team will share a report on the department's wrap up of the 24-25 school year, summer work projects, and the outlook for the 25-26 school year to provide insight to the board and administration on potential communications approaches for moving into the new year. Heidi.
Hello, everybody. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. So, boards, superintendent, staff, community, thank you so much for letting us be here. Obviously, as I think everybody here knows, Our team has been here for quite a while. Some of us are permanent employees of the district, some of us are contractors. And our team covers a lot of good things, as Dr. Leckrett shared. At the end of the 24-25 school year, due to circumstances beyond everyone's control, Alicia White and my contracts were not renewed. However, through the grace of God and through the miracles of everyone around here, we were able to come back for the summer to help with some very specific critical projects. So they were very, very specific, very tight, very critical, and a lot of our roles were eliminated just because we were focused on the things that were most important to get us through to get the school year started. Also to be able to get some other people here up to speed in case there was not an opportunity to bring us back in the longer term or bring other individuals in for the longer term communication. So we wanted to touch base here just to give you all the status of what those things were, what we've been up to over the summer. Most of what we did last year, we were able to share during the board retreat back in May, but also to be able to answer any questions on anything that maybe was wrapped up after that, or if there's anything that is still going on. But just wanted to let you know. So the biggest things that we were brought in here back to do involved, it may sound silly, but movie night was one of those things. And it's not silly for any of you who've been here. Movie night is one of the biggest things we do to be able to promote our happenings, what's going on, to be able to engage our community throughout the summer, to enrollment, to everything happening in the district, and also for the grant time here in the community with all of our families out on the lawn, across the street, watch a great film, families of all ages, both here within the district already, new families moving into the community members, partners, everybody comes out. It's a great night. It is a massive undertaking, as many people here can attest. Ms. Mitchell, Chauncey, so many people can share. It's an amazing event. It's big. We came back to be able to turn that over to new teams because it is a big event. It's a lot of hours. It was not something anyone wanted to pay us to do, nor should they, all the way through to the end, but it's an incredible thing to be able to keep doing. So we did hand it over. Chauncey took lead on it with some amazing team members to help her, incredible staff members came back to volunteer. They pulled it off without a hitch and had an incredible night on the 7th with a huge turnout, being able to promote things going on, and it went off without a hitch. So it was fantastic. I'm sure many people here are able to see it. So the next thing that is in process is that sinking fund that we've all been talking about, which is coming up for those community members that are voters and staff members. We will be having a sinking fund renewal on the upcoming ballot. Please get out there and vote. So we will be having information coming out soon on what that involves, which we will be sharing shortly. There are FAQs already on the website for anyone who is interested, but information pertaining more on what is involved in that will be rolling out as we get closer to the election. Obviously, we just had an election, so we didn't want to get very good waters too early. So that stuff is in process and will be ready soon. Mailers, including flyers and everything necessary, press information, all of that stuff is in process, and we'll have that very, very soon. And I'm happy to share things in progress at any time, obviously outside of this meeting, just to all here. So conduct has been updated, proofread. Obviously, we saw it here last meeting, and is in the process of being printed, both in English and Spanish. Those final updates are being made, and it will be this year a little bit different, just because printing costs are so astronomical, and a lot of people don't want the printed copies. We will have printed copies at every building. However, the main copies will be online. And then, if anyone needs a printed copy, they can get one at the building, or they can request one. However, the majority of our families will access that. And it's most of our families that anyway, and that will save us quite a bit. Convocation is coming up next week on the 28th. It will be back at Kensington. It will be, we have an amazing event planned as always. Staff-wide event, that is a large undertaking that has kept us very busy. But we are hoping it to be an amazing kickoff as always. And we have, we're working to run it very tight this year because one of the biggest concerns that our staff has had every year is that although it's a wonderful event to kick off the year, it is a big event and it is a long event and everyone is looking at their watches because they've got to get back to get their rooms ready. They've got to get back and get ready to start school the next day. And it is the Thursday before the holiday weekend and it's the last hurrah before school starts after a very long couple days, few days of meetings and everyone's burned out with the time to get there. So we are running it really tight this year. It's going to be a big day with lots of fun stuff. But we're trying to be efficient, not have any less content, but efficient content. So we're excited about that. We have our theme, which many of you already know, but the invitation's coming out tomorrow. And it should be got some great speakers and should be fantastic. We've been working well on that. We're also running with much shared budget on it this year. So but it shouldn't be any less exciting. Simultaneously, one of this is when I say this was a project, it's really many projects, but we said it was some one year before summer projects. It's many projects and back to school summer supports. This has been labors of love, supporting many things, but really trying to do as much as we can to get back to school, including backpack coordination for all our schools, which we've done differently this year. Many schools had done their own backpack supports through partners of their own. And we are working to try to support the rest of our schools through backpack donations. We've had previous partners come forward. We've had generosity from partners like SFB. The Ascend Foundation has come through with some additional backpacks again this year. And we are working to provide backpacks for all of our students again, just in a much different manner. We used to go back to school rally where everybody came out to Pontiac Middle School, which was amazing pre-COVID. Then we moved it to the drive-through, which worked very well for many years. But just as time has changed, it got confusing. It just wasn't moving as smoothly as it was, and a lot of schools were doing it their own way. So we're just evolving, and we are working to evolve with it. So this is the first year of doing it this way. We're going to have to evolve, or whoever's here in the future is going to have to evolve it again a little bit more next year to tighten it up a bit better, to make sure those backpacks come in sooner and smoother. But growing pains, that's what happens. It's happening. It's going to be great, and we're getting there. And we've been hustling to make it happen like crazy. Alicia's been working like crazy. Schools have been jumping in to assist, and we will be in great shape to make sure everybody's stocked with school supplies and ready to go at the start of school. Additionally to that, we've been working with registration and promotion for schools that need assistance with that. We need a piece ongoing with their registration, TAs ongoing as well. Anywhere from helping the staff and then going out to different events, different lawn signs, promotional videos, things of that nature. Working with transportation support, with bus routes for summer school, and now as fall approaches, Audrey and I will get to work together pretty extensively in time as those fall routes come in to get those out to all of our families. Also getting the communications for welcome back. We've already put some initial ones out to staff, but we want to get communications out ASAP this week to be able to let everyone know, okay, where are we? What building? Where is it? Is Harrington? Harrington? Where is Island? Where is Peace? Just no matter how many times we get out there, we've got to really reiterate to people where everyone is now, what's going on. So one of the greatest things that's happened this summer is we actually had the opportunity last year. We had so many things going on, so many just running and gunning all the time, is that we have been able to really refill our asset library with wonderful photos and video assets, because Frank has been, I've hardly seen him all summer. He has been out in the field almost every day, creating incredible videos, working with Project Excel, working with the schools, working with the staff, working with partners, creating videos, creating photos. We have so much great stuff to start the year with. it's phenomenal. So that is one of the most amazing victories of the summer that I'm really proud of and feel really proud of. So, some of the people are deceased. They're helping. Additionally, our care closet has been, continues to be stocked. Even if some of the things are for the back to school, backpack summer for things that will be utilized throughout the year. We continue to get partners reaching out with that, and I extensively on that, as well as obviously the ribbon cuttings as well. And then homecoming, we've already had our first kickoff meeting along those lines. Alicia and I have been working with the homecoming team to get them started on that. Again, we don't know what if any, our role will be in that, but just sort of getting up to speed on what will be going on with that. Alicia's already created the save the date. Obviously, we knew when we put these contracts together for the short term, we know that in our role, especially my side of it, nothing is ever as it seems. The best laid plans, nothing ever is as it seems. Good and bad things arise on a moment's notice, and you're going down this path, and everything derails, and you're going down this path. Sometimes it's for something bad, lots of times it's for something really great. So, we've had a lot of news media, and we allowed for that. We allowed for that in what we did, and we knew that would happen. We've had some news media stories, some were follow-ups on old stories, just wrapping them up. We've had some great news media stories too. We've had some opportunities with the Oakland Press, with WDIV. WDIV has reached out to us multiple times to have Dr. Leverett come down and be on the morning show. Nick Manicelli, who's a great friend of the district. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to take advantage of it yet. And only because she's been here and it's right, they want her to come down for the back to school stories. But unfortunately, it's right when we're in back to school critical meetings, and in order to get downtown and be on the morning show, she can't be in the back to school critical meetings. So it hasn't quite worked out, but it will happen. And so, and more is coming. So that's the only issue. So, but they're wonderful partners, and there's more coming, and there's more great stuff coming with Harrington, with all the great stuff that's rolling out, with the potential of what could be coming down the road with Cross, with all sorts of things going on here. There's lots of good things to really kick off with the year. There will be lots of good stories coming. So, excuse me, the emergency board relocation was a crazy triage that we had to do, but it was a really, we talked about this in cabinet a few times, but it was an amazing testament to this district and the departments that work together. So I want to just a little shout out to how when that happened, it derailed us for about a day and a half in our department because we had to call vendors and get different things together, but it was communications, technology, facilities, Cynthia, superintendent's office, all rallying together and just figuring out how to do all this and pull it together. And it was fun. I mean, it was really a great time. I mean, we were hustling. I mean, we worked our butts off, but it was strategic. It was great. We were figuring it out. We were trying to figure out how to make it work. When something wasn't quite as we thought it was, when something was all of a sudden a new problem arose, we figured it out and we made it happen. And it was great. So I love it when the plan comes together, and that, even if I didn't get the things that planned to get done, it worked well. And that's one of the beauties of this district and how we all work together. So, and then even here tonight, things are still going crazy. So apologies to the community watching at home. We know there are sound difficulties bouncing off the walls tonight. New problem you didn't know yet. So we live and learn, and we're always continuing to evaluate as we go. We've also been continuing to do our day-to-day communications, which are web updates, the different videos, things of that nature. So there's a lot of moving pieces that have been happening at all times. And while we're doing that, we're continuing to look, just no matter what happens, we love this district. Obviously, this is in my heart and soul. I've been here in a million different capacities over time. There's partners, there's all these different things we've done over the years. We want to figure out ways that whether we're here or not here, those things can live on in different ways. So we're looking at ways that maybe there's capacity that could go here, or maybe there's capacity we could work this way. We're continuing to look at how that would happen. We obviously want to be a part of this district if it makes sense, if there's a way it can. We want to look at how those things can continue to function in some way if we can. That's my rambling report. Question, please.
Thank you, Heidi. Board members, any questions or comments? Heidi, I want to say, I know your team does a whole lot. And so we totally appreciate you being flexible and especially being prompt when we have to make shifts, like bringing us over to WHIC instead of boardroom. So we see you, even though we may not see you physically, but we see your handprint throughout the district on different projects and different things that that you and Alicia and Frank and Wilma and whoever else steps in to support. We see it and we really do appreciate it because that is a very key component. Communications is key for this district, and I know we've talked about it a lot. And even talk about ways that we can improve it because we want to make sure that we are communicating effectively and not just communicating and responding when things are bad, but we also want to be able to communicate and talk about the things that are good. So we thank you for everything that you guys have. Exciting. Thanks. Next on the agenda is the resolution for the stormwater management. Correct.
Marvin, please read the resolution.
Good evening, everyone. Agenda resolution support stormwater management plan. Background rights now. One school is responsible for managing stormwater that runs off the properties to local storm drains, which eventually flow into Michigan's river states. To protect water quality, the district operates under a state issued permit from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Inland. As part of the National Pollutant Discharge Integration System, the district has obtained NPDES permit coverage for these discharges and is obligated to meet stringent compliance requirements designed to protect water quality, prevent pollution, and ensure responsible management of stormwater runoff to keep water clean and reduce flooding risk. Approving this resolution ensures the district formally commits to eliminating illicit discharge and connections, meeting requirements for construction and redevelopment projects, implementing best practices to control runoff and protect water quality. Board approval is essential to demonstrate the regulatory compliance, avoid potential penalties, and reinforce the district's role as an environmental steward in the community. Recommendation of the administration of the Board of Education approve the resolution in support of stormwater management plan. In the Parks and Environmental section.
My name is Kathleen McBride, and I'm for Archie Environmental Group, and I'm the manager of the stormwater team at Hamilton Stormwater, specifically.
Is that fine?
School District of the City of Pontiac, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, at a regular board meeting of the Board of Education, the Board of the School District of the City of Pontiac, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, held in the school district on the 18th day of August 2025 at 6:00 p.m. local time. Present members, absent members. Resolution in support of stormwater management plan. Whereas Pontiac School District owns and operates facilities within the boundaries of the Detroit urbanized area, which discharges software through a municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4, to surface waters of the state of Michigan. And whereas the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy maintains oversight and regulatory authority for compliance with the terms and conditions of the NPDES Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Discharge Permit. And whereas Pontiac School District has applied for and received permit coverage to discharge stormwater from Pontiac School District facilities to the MS4. And whereas Pontiac School District agrees to comply with the NPDES Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Discharge Permit requirements. And whereas Pontiac School District has developed a stormwater management program plan SWMP, outlining the policies, procedures, and best management practices to be employed by the district to comply with the permit requirements. And whereas the conditions of the NPDES municipal separate storm sewer system discharge permit require Pontiac School District to develop policies and procedures that prohibit illicit discharges to their stormwater system and to implement appropriate enforcement procedures and actions to detect and eliminate such illicit discharges. And whereas Pontiac School District agrees to prohibit the discharge of non-stormwater discharges into the storm drainage system, including but not limited to pollutants or water containing any pollutants, and whereas Pontiac School District agrees to eliminate illicit discharges and illicit connections, and whereas Pontiac School District agrees to prohibit the construction, use, maintenance, or continued existence of illicit connections to the storm drain system. This prohibition expressly includes without, excuse me. Limitations, illicit connections made in the past, regardless of whether the connection was permissible under law or practices applicable or prevailing at the time of connection. And whereas Pontiac School District agrees to obtain a Part 91 permit from the appropriate state, county, or local governmental soil erosion permitting agency for new development and redevelopment projects that disturb one or more acres. And whereas Pontiac School District agrees to obtain an NPDES construction site software permit from the Michigan Department of Environment, Regulations, and Energy for new development and redevelopment projects that disturb 5 acres or more. And whereas Pontiac School District agrees to use post-construction stormwater controls are necessary to maintain or restore stable hydraulic in receiving waters by limiting surface runoffs, rates, and volumes, and reducing pollutant loadings from sites that undergo development or significant redevelopment. Therefore, be it resolved, the Pontiac School District will enforce the above listed policies and procedures for illicit discharge elimination and control of stormwater runoff as part of the overall Pontiac School District stormwater management plan. Yeas, resolution declared adopted, duly passed and approved by the Pontiac School District Board of Education, County, Oakland, Michigan, this 18th day of August 2025, Shaquan Davis Smith, Secretary, Board of Education.
Thank you. Board trustees, any questions?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Okay, thank you. This was. I yield.
Sure. Any other comments or questions regarding the resolution? Okay.
What I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm speaking accurately before I say anything. And I'm going back, look, I know that this was not in our original board packet. It was sent to us later on. It was also sent to us earlier this month. So I'm reviewing that. And I understand that there, in the resolution, that there were, I heard that there was some, we were going to be in compliance with, and there were certain standards that were put in place to make sure that we're compliant. And I don't know what those are, and I was just making sure that they had not been submitted, and I had not missed them. So I'm looking for it, and I do not see it. So I can't agree with the resolution about maintaining compliance. I don't know what we have in place to make sure that we are compliant. That's my concern.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, can I get a motion for the approval of the resolution for stormwater management?
So move, support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by treasurer Terry for the approval of the resolution for the stormwater management. Any questions, any additional questions?
Yes.
Trustee Gross?
Ms. Dees, we are. Thank you.
I just have another question. I understand that, and I appreciate Mr. Beasley saying that we are compliant. Where is it in writing so that we can ensure and maintain our compliance?
So I can help answer this and give some background. So the district received a letter from the Michigan Department of Environmental, Great Lakes and Energy, in late February, telling them that they needed to obtain the stormwater permit to be in compliance with regulations. So that is due August 29th of 2025. And so as part of that, there's a stormwater management plan, which is what this resolution is about, to meet the requirements that has to be developed to meet the requirements of the board. So that plan is been drafted and is being finalized for submission for the district. And that outlines all the steps and the things that have to be done to maintain compliance with.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
President Hannah,
Yes.
trustee Miller,
No.
treasurer Terry,
Yes.
I vote yes. Trustee Gross,
Yes.
that passes.
Thank you very much. All right, continuing on with our agenda, under regular working agenda, or discussion item, proposed board norms. So board norms are essential for the success of functioning boards and highly effective school districts that focus on student success as the number one priority. These norms help to guide our collective commitment to each other as well as the staff, students, and community as a whole. It is the recommendation of the board president that the Board of Education approve the proposed board norms. I just would, I want to say I really appreciate this Board of Education for being willing to move out of our comfort zone. And so going through different trainings, especially the ones that we had recently with the MASB, it helped us to see where we had some weaknesses as well as some strengths. But I'm happy to say that collectively, we were all in agreement that we wanted to do that. And so one of the ways that we decided we can take that step in doing better to improve our actions and behavior as a board was to adopt some board norms. So I'll read for your hearing the norms that we have proposed, and these are the norms that we as a board came up with collectively. And so with the approval of the board tonight, we will go ahead and adopt these board norms. So again, behavioral ground rules enabling teams to build and maintain a positive culture or shift a negative one. We will allow wait time after a person speaks. We will respect the right of speaker to their opinion. We will seek understanding before seeking to be understood. We will be aware of verbal and nonverbal communication, body language. We will refrain from silent conversations. We will keep comments to 3 minutes by being concise and to the point. We will recognize and abide by the authority of the board. We will make space for other people's thoughts and feelings, and we will be sure that there are no surprises. So I open it up to the board trustees, any questions, any comments about the norms? All right, hearing none, I would like a motion on the floor to adopt the Pontiac School District Board norms.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by treasurer Terry to accept the board norm, the approval of the proposed board norms. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
trustee Miller,
Yes.
treasurer Terry,
Yes.
I vote yes. Trustee Gross,
Yes, twice.
president,
Yes.
that passes by.
All right, thank you very much. All right, now we'll continue on with our agenda and communications, petitions, and delegations. We do have some. And so your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with your commitment that all comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeiture of your allotted time. And the first person I have is Charity Cooper. Charity? Okay, I'll move to the next one. Next one is cancer.
Good evening. I'm Candace Ridley, president of the Pontiac Education Association, and I'm not here just to address the school board, but to talk to all the stakeholders, the staff, the parents, the students, and the community. We gather here today because not just as educators, but as professionals who have been pushed too far for too long. For over a month now, since July 1st, we, the teachers, secretaries, and educational support professionals, have been without contracts. We deserve better, our students deserve better, our community deserves better. But this isn't about contracts, friends. This is about a pattern of failure that's threatening the very schools we've dedicated our lives to building. Look at Peace Academy. Enrollment is plummeting, not because our teaching isn't excellent, not because our programs are strong, but because leadership failed to promote what we've built together. Where are the billboards showcasing our achievements? Where are the advertising celebrating our success stories? Other schools are out there fighting for our students, while our district is silent. They replaced our successful preschool roundup with confusing bureaucratic processes for open schools. Students and families get lost in drop-down menus when they should have been welcomed with open arms. And don't get me started on ITA. The application's going out August 11th. 3 weeks before school starts, where every other district was courting families in the spring, where were we? Sleeping at the wheel. Perhaps the most concerning is the return of the idea of grade band building assignments rather than location-based enrollment. This decision forces families into impossible situations. Picture a parent with 3 children. They're first graders at Rogers, third grader at Harrington, sixth grader at Alcott. Instead of one convenient pickup location, this parent must drive across town multiple times each day. For families already facing transportation challenges, this creates an insurmountable burden. Consider a parent trying to take their children to medical appointments. They'll spend half their day simply driving between school buildings. This isn't just inconvenient, it's discriminatory against families who lack reliable transportation or work schedules that don't allow for multiple school runs. The burden outweighs the benefits. So I ask you this: is this malicious? Is this simple inexcusable incompetence? Is there a deliberate strategy to drive down enrollment to justify school consolidation as was proposed in March? Are we witnessing a systematic dismantling of our district's appeal to families? Or are our decision makers simply failing to think through the consequences of their actions? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Paul Sandy.
Good evening. My name is Paul Sandy. I'm a teacher at ITA as well as the PEA Vice President. As teachers, parapros, and secretaries, we are now 49 days no contract. This will be our 3rd year in the last 4 starting work with no contract. We love teaching and helping the children of Pontiac. We live to serve. And teacher working conditions are student learning conditions. They can't be separated. We need to attract and retain teachers and staff. What do we want? 2 main things. Number 1, smaller class sizes. We talked about, I heard research talked about, we know that smaller class sizes work. Last year alone, 33% of Pontiac School District elementary schools were above the recommended class size limit as spelled out in their contract. Lower class sizes allow students to learn and teachers to teach. Second thing is a more fair pay scale. There has been some progress in our pay, but right now teachers that spend 30 years working in the Pontiac School District make less money than 22 of the other 26 school districts here in Oakland County, despite the fact that Pontiac has gotten the most money per pupil every year since 2014. We also need to take care of the bus drivers and the substitute teachers and all other school workers. Lastly, I want to end with a comment on the Pontiac reimagining plan as spelled out today. We strongly disagree with the elementary school consolidation plan. This would ruin school communities. It would make transportation for families more difficult. Every school would have to have bus routes all through the district, and it would make parent-teacher conferences very, very hard. Let's say your parent who has students in kindergarten, third, and sixth grade, you would have to drive to and forth 3 different schools. This plan would chase away families from the Pontiac School District. 65% of Pontiac children already leave the district. We need to focus instead on fighting to bring those families back. And to do that, let's invest in our boots on the ground school workers like teachers. We believe in what is proven to work. Invest in your people. Create community schools that care for students and make our class sizes smaller. And one more thing, on the banding of classes, don't take it from me. Ask our neighboring school district, Bloomfield, who already tried this. It failed, and they went back to K-5 schools. Thank you for your time. Fair contract. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, to continue on with our agenda, board comments and announcements. Start with trustee Moore.
All right, good evening, everyone. Is anybody here? Y'all hear me? Good evening, everyone. All right, I just want to start off first because I looked on the calendar and by the time we have another meeting, we'll already be in school. So I'm taking this opportunity to address and welcome back. So I want to start with a very heartfelt welcome back to all of our students. All of you are the reason that we're here. And your success, listen, I'm trying to get through this because I've been sitting here. Give me a second. Let me get it together because I'm angry. All right. You are the reason that we should be here. The kids, our students, and your success is what it should be. What drives every decision we make. You matter, your voice matters, and your success matters. To our teachers, staff, counselors, parents, bus drivers, vendors, security, coaches, school service, whoever, and anyone who supports our student in any way. I see you. You matter. You are appreciated, and I value you. Your work is not only is your work important, it is essential. Thank you for your dedication to our students. Why am I so freaking emotional? I'm gonna tell you why I'm emotional. I know I get up here and a lot of times it's the first time y'all hear from me, but my colleagues hear from me all the time when I express my frustration. And it's never been personal for me. It's always been for the betterment of our students. I had the pleasure of being at Pontiac High today. I'm excited, when I go to the high school because I have a student there, my son goes there, and I've become acquainted with the teachers, the staff, the coaches, people who support my student. They have a DJ out there, what's DJ Cunningham? I believe he works for the district, great to see, very engaging. But then I go into the school. And this is where my frustration again just overwhelms me. I go into the school because prior to that, I sent an email and I said, hey, as a parent, do I have to register my returning student? Yeah, we do it every year. Okay. I go up there, I waited in line for 1 hour and 22 minutes. First, I was excited that we had a line. I was excited thinking like, oh, we have some people, we got our students coming back. No, I stood in line for 1 hour and 22 minutes, not because our staff that was diligently working wasn't prepared. They didn't have the tools to provide us parents what we needed. I stood in line for 1 hour and 22 minutes to fill out a media release form. That could have been emailed to me. Look at the disservice that we continue to do to our community, that we continue to do to our parents. And I know y'all don't want to hear, y'all haven't heard me from day one. At this point, it has to be. No one has to actually know what goes on in our schools, because if y'all did, y'all would put a stop to all these outdated processes and procedures and do what's best for our parents and our students. Walk through the schools instead of just giving a directive. Actually go in there and walk through the schools when parents have to go in there and tell me you guys are frustrated with the process. 1 hour and 22 minutes for a media release form, the students not getting their They're scheduled for the first week of school. I could have emailed that to y'all. I had to review a form that I had already did on the app. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm frustrated because I am a parent before anything on this earth. Parent. I am a mother when I wake up in the morning. Then I'm Tanisha. Then depending on the day, I'll turn into Trustee Miller. But my first role is a mother. And if y'all put y'all egos down and work with me instead of working harder against me, we can get some things done. Because who else got a parent on this board? Who else is a parent to a current student at Pontiac Community Schools? Oh, that would be me. So if I report something, stop arguing with me and telling me I'm inaccurate. I'm never inaccurate because I make sure I get all my facts straight before I speak. I'm disappointed and I'm angry as a parent. And I'm even more angrier, that's not a word, that I have to sit here and face this embarrassment. But I am thankful and I stay humble that I, as a parent, do have the opportunity to sit here and let y'all know for real what's going on. But instead of embracing that, I get pushed back, it's not received, and we keep doing the same damn things that we've been doing since 1982. Come on now, do better. And I know y'all gonna be mad and she go in there talking. I'm mad and y'all should be mad too. But y'all don't have to go in there. I do. And I see the embarrassment that we're doing to our parents. Thank you.
Trustee Gross.
Well, it's hard to follow. She's right. We have to do better. But we have to know what's going on before we do something. I had no knowledge of what, you're right. My son graduated years ago and I had no knowledge of what you go through because I don't have a child here. I have many children here. And we need to do better. And I understand your frustration. Okay. I want to give some kudos and some thanks. First of all, I want to thank Chauncey, who's in the audience. We had an excellent back to school day at Kennedy on the 12th. And I had multiple flyers and I told them I'll bring them, I forget their names. I truly enjoyed myself because when you're there and you see multiple vendors there to serve our children, it says a lot about this community and how they feel. This was done right. And I know you were enrolling and things like that, but this was done right because we had a DJ, we had fun activities for the children, and it was hot, but it was a good hot. And I truly enjoyed myself, and I'm glad that I was able to be there and speak on behalf of the board and see everyone. But the joy that I received was hugging the children who remembered me. And I was so elated. And then on this weekend, I had the opportunity, and I want to thank a couple people that are here. Mark Beasley, Terry Covington, I always want to say right, but it's Terry Covington and Miss Marsha Easley. We represented well. You know, we had the Dream Cruise this weekend over at the district. And I want to thank them, Marv, for the hard work and dedication you gave to ensure that everyone did what they were supposed to do. And everything went well. And Terry and Marsha, thank you. This gave us the opportunity to bring some people in from Pontiac to get together. You know, we talk about being able to enjoy each other. And sometimes we only meet when we have funerals. And it's time that we come together. And we did. And it was an excellent time the entire day. Now, I was there from 9:30 to 9:30. And, but I was so elated with all of the people in Pontiac, Central and North, even some Pontiac High students came in and what we did. We just need to keep these things going because it shows that Pontiac people are good people and we do well together. And I thank all of you as well as the Pontiac Auto Club that came in, was involved, and some of the other organizations that came in, and everyone had a good time and we did well. So I appreciate that. And lastly, I want to say, you know, to all our students, and as Trustee Miller said, This is our last meeting before school starts. We will be there for, what is it, convocation? Okay, we'll be there definitely to ensure, that we're all on the same page and we have a good time together. And it's a welcome back. And let's welcome back our children. Because we talk about this, some of the things that go on in the district. And everyone in this room, everyone sitting on this diocese, trust and believe, without our children, none of us would be here. Sometimes the majority forgets. Without our children, we have no district. So we need to treat our children as precious as they are. We're not going to go on a contract, that's different. We're going to deal with that. But there's a proper place and time. And we'll ensure. We did it before, we'll do it again. We did it before. I always talk about the time I've been a board member. I've been a board member for 13 and a half years now. And we've never gotten through a year we did not complete a contract. We'll do it. Right? But let's work together. For the good, not only for the district, we understand, but for the betterment of our children. Let's work together. Everybody. That includes this table here. And that includes everybody that's listening on the recording or TV. That includes all of us. Let's work together. Let's do this right. Let's do this right. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Davis.
Good evening, everyone. I also wanted to thank Ms. Chauncey. Hi, and everyone. The block party was so much fun. It was fun. And I was so happy to see all of us come together for our youth. And for me, my hope was that we had an event like that for our entire city. I believe that our backpack initiative would be so much great if we do it that way. I believe if our whole city came together like we did for that block party, we have carnival, food, free food, information for everyone all at one time. And that's my prayer and hope for our district and our city. For me, our bus drivers are always the first to see our students and the last to see our students. With construction and some of these, on some of the sides of the streets and stuff, it makes it difficult for our drivers, things like that. So when I say that each job that our district have, I respect and appreciate each one of you guys. For our food service, some of our kids, that's the only meal they get is when they come here for breakfast and lunch. And I appreciate the extra things that some of our food service people do to make that meal for those students special. Some of our teachers go beyond to make sure that our kids are comfortable when they feel uncomfortable, and they do it in a private way. I understand class sizes and how difficult it is to teach when you have a larger class size. It is impossible to make sure that your kids are getting a quality education, because first you are a mom, because you're working with behavior issues. You're working with emotional issues before you're able to teach. I know I went to the high school one day for a banquet, and there was one of our janitors, she was cleaning, and when I say it smelled so amazing, I don't know what product she used, but I said, yes, I called Marvin and tell them that she was really one above and beyond. And our board members, some of our board members, they do extra things for our students and our staff to make sure that they feel appreciated as well. When I say, I can say something about just about, everyone in our district, and that's why I always say I appreciate everyone, because it takes all of us in order for us to have a productive, a safe and healthy and fun, equitable school year for our children. For me, I go beyond, donating my time, my products, my money, just to make sure that, we're able to do some events that we make sure we may come short on. Because for me, it's our community, it's our kids are our future. These are the people that's gonna be taking care of me soon, and I don't know, I'm frustrated too, because no, I don't have a kid in this school district anymore, but I have three boys and a daughter that came out of this district that is doing amazing. And it took me as a parent to come and do the things that I needed to do as a parent. That's how a lot of the people that I do know in this district, I know is from that. That's how I know that they're doing the extra things that they're doing in this district. It's from that. I care about all children, not just Pontiac kids, but all children, and to see the things that some of these children are going through. Me as a teacher, this is my first year, so some of the things that y'all been seeing, I'm just now seeing and understanding. I knew, but I didn't know, because I was a bus driver in a Pontiac school district for 10 years. So I'm frustrated too, but it takes all of us in order for us to have a great district. This is also a business, so we have to work as such. And so it takes a little longer for things to happen in order for us to succeed. But every little accomplishment to me is worth being celebrated. Like, we celebrate our children, we celebrate our teachers. We have, I have a teacher that just passed away yesterday. Miss Edwards, her son worked here, her daughter-in-law worked here as their teachers. Miss Jenkins was my middle school teacher. She just passed away. And when I say that, it was heartbreaking, because those are the memories. And I know that the teachers, the bus drivers, the food service, I was at an event, someone saw, Trustee Gross, and said he was a board member when I was in school, and I said, he's still a board member to this day. So all of you guys make memories for our kids, and we touch our children in different ways. And when I say I appreciate all of you guys, I do. I won't be able to be at compilation for you, but I'll make muffins fresh for you and have them here before I go to work, because I have to go to work too. I'm sorry I went over, but as Trustee Miller said, I'm frustrated now as well. I just want us to be a family, come together and have a great school year this year. We should be able to talk, not just at a board meeting, but we need to talk as regular, to come up with, instead of problems, but come up with solutions that we can do. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you, Secretary Smith, Treasurer Terry.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I want to say thank you for all of the presentations you got tonight. A lot of good information was shared, so looking forward to a new school year as well. So welcome back as we want. The schools are starting. Welcome back, everyone. I'm gonna keep mine short. Just want to say change. The ones that have been here with this district, been in this community been doing a lot of the same things repeatedly and getting the same results. A lot of challenges and expected different results. But we got the same results. I personally came on this board with the mentality of making some changes. They're not the easiest ones. Some we struggle with, some are easy. But overall, I'm here for the best interest of this district, the students, staff, administration, community as a whole. I don't look at one individual, I don't look at one child, I look at one, I guess you must say, department. I look at it as an overall picture. When one fails, we all fail. This isn't just an individual situation, this is a team effort. I look at Pontiac District as a family. Born, raised here, grew up here, went through the schools here. No Chiefs. But I look at it as a family. And usually when family is struggling, we all to the struggle. And I want to see that change. But in order to make that happen, some things have to change. We want to grow, we want to evolve. We make it through COVID, make it through a lot of other debt within this district, and yet we're still here. We're still here. We're still pushing forward. We still want the best for our kids. But I'm gonna be honest, change is not over. And if I want to be honest, real honest, I believe everyone sitting in here today and everyone that's listening also believes that we're not where we want to be. We're just not. I can't speak for other districts because I'm not on the boards. I don't, get involved with a lot of that outside of the Pontiac school district. But overall, me personally believe Pontiac school district is not where we want to be. That being said, I need everybody to pull together. The bashing, going against each other, pitting against one another to see if we can get a reaction. The negativity, all of that. I need to see that change. Let's come together as one. Let's show everyone else around this district that I knows how to come together, be that family, work together for these students, our staff, our community as a whole. And if that's not working, help us figure out what's going on. When do we need to change? I love hearing, issues and complaints and everything else, but we also love to hear recommendations, solutions. If something ain't working in one area, if someone outside is looking at the inside, let us know what needs to change. What is your best recommendation? I'm all for it. I'm open. I like to hear new thoughts. I like to think outside the box a lot. Not even gonna go there what I really wanted to do when I first got on this board. But things happen. Things happen. But I just want to rest assured that I feel we're going in the right direction. I feel overall that things have changed and it's for the best. And there's more to come. So let's continue to push forward. I'm going to say welcome back. I feel like we never left. We never left. Some of us are committed, we just never left. So for those that are committed, let's keep pushing forward. And for those that are not, and you hear, we just need your support. Just need your support. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to first of all say thank you to State Representative Turner as well as our partners from General Motors for giving our students the exposure that they need to see beyond their circle. So I truly appreciate the leadership training, just the investment of their time and even believing in our students, our work, the training that they put them through. So I truly appreciate partners like State Representative Hart as well as our partners with General Motors. Chauncey, to you and your team, as well as Heidi and the communications team, thank you again for all that you do, for continuing to be present and just supporting and stepping in. Someone is stepping in, so thank you for making movie night a success. Kennedy's back to school event was a success, and just all the other events and activities that took place over the summer. Thank you for keeping our district forward. I'm looking forward to the upcoming school year. I'm optimistic that we're going to have some really great things happen this school year. Again, we got a class of new graduates that we got to push through, so this is exciting for them. So I'm looking forward to all the positive things that are to come in this upcoming school year. Thank you, Mr. Beasley and the facilities team for managing the Dream Cruise activities over the weekend. I know it wasn't as we planned. However, you guys stepped in and you still made sure that everything turned out well. I want to also thank you that are here, as well as those of you that are listening for paying attention and for watching and listening so closely that you respond, you reach out, you send comments. We thank you for being open, and we thank you even for your frustration and telling us what's wrong. As a board, we hear that a lot. And sometimes, as you hear, the frustration is there because the passion is there. And all we hear a lot more of what's wrong with this school district, with our teachers, with our classrooms, than we hear what's going right. So comments were made at a previous board meeting, and someone sent an email, and they wanted to know, are we trying to attract people to our district, or are we trying to deter people from coming to our district? Because just as you all sitting here and we sit here on this board, we always hear the negative. And yes, there are challenges within the school district, just like there are in any other school district. But we take so much pride, it seems, in showing up to talk about what's wrong and what's bad. There are things that need to be changed, and we hear you. And just as Trustee Terry has said and others said, it don't happen overnight, because as soon as we're addressing one issue, then another one comes and another one comes, because we want to make sure that all of our staff and our students and our families are content with the work and the offerings of the school district. But we spend so much time trying to defend all of the negative. And again, it's fine because we need to know, because we're not in the classrooms day to day. We're not a parent like Trustee Miller that's in the classroom, so we need to know. So I appreciate you saying that, for making us aware. There are some processes that definitely need to be changed. But my question is how we show up to address those changes that are needed. Because to the persons on the outside, we talk about classroom sizes now, but we then also talk about how do we grow this district? How do we make this district better? I don't know if we're making it better if we're always talking about what's so wrong and bad about this district. So as a board and as a goal that we talked to Dr. Leverett about as it relates to communication, what's the good news? What's good here in this school district? We can take the good and the bad, but I just hope it's not the intent to come to this space and want to bash the school district, because we're turning a lot of people off. We talk about the students that have left the school district. How many want to return when they constantly hear or see leadership not on the same page, or if we constantly hear and see all of the negative things that are happening? We're not all bad. And yes, there are some things that need to be improved, and we're doing our best to try to address them. But it don't happen overnight. It's not going to happen all at one time. For those of us that have been on this school board, Trustee Gross is a long-standing trustee on this board, and I'm sure from the time he's been there to now, he has seen some improvements in some areas. And I wish that we could snap our fingers and just make everything happen so that every single person is content and happy with this district. But we know that's not reality. So I wanted to just clarify some things, because again, when communications come, because people are watching and they're listening, And they want to make sure that we are being honest and truthful about what we say across this board. I do want to just clarify some information that was shared, just so that everybody understands what and why we're trying to do. It was stated that a comment was made that there were over 100 teachers who were not evaluated this year, and that it was a failure on the part of the school district. Board Policy 3220, professional staff evaluation, clearly states that teachers rated highly effective, or as of July 1 of 2024, effective on the 3 most recent consecutive year-end evaluations, may be evaluated every other year, or as of July 1 of 2024, every 3rd year at the district's discretion. There was also a question about our student code of conduct. And I know a comment was made about the Neola policy dating back to 2012. All of our policies are dated. Policies are dated when they are implemented and only updated as needed. Most policies don't need to change. This is not uncommon and needs to be clarified. We have a policy committee, and we've asked our policy committee to review the policies, those that haven't been changed in a long time, because they didn't need it. Let's review them and make sure that they are still current and applicable to where we are today. A demand for a forensic audit. Every year, Yo conducts an audit, which is available for full review each year. The concept of forensic audit is not something to throw out lightly, and it involves an extremely costly process and is generally utilized during specific proceedings. This district has invested extensive funds under past board recommendations in the recent past towards these efforts and yielded no benefit. Multiple financial experts have stated it was not a necessary exercise or investment at this time. As board trustees, we take this business of the school district seriously. We understand that information provided in this setting is to inform you and to educate the community and families of the workings of this educational system. The educational system across this country is in a state of emergency. The challenges that exist within the Pontiac School District are no different than the challenges that exist in other urban districts across the country. It is not our intent to defame our school district, nor the staff, nor the students. And all the information is shared with transparency, ethically, and with full respect for the families and students we serve. It is with confidence that I assure you that this administration and these board members are here to do what is in the best interest of the students and families, so that our kids here in Pontiac schools are afforded a quality education, just as their peers are in other school districts across the state. So again, we hear you, and we want you to continue to make us aware of what some of the challenges are that you're experiencing in the classrooms. But please understand that everything takes time. That's not to dismiss what you're saying. That's not to say it won't, but just understand everything takes time. And so we hearing what you said, now we're making sure administration is aware of what you're saying, whether it's processes that need to be changed or anything else. We talked about what can we do to reimagine, what changes can we make? When we put out suggestions as to what we can do to make the district better, we then get feedback because some don't like it. But just as some don't like it, there are some that do like it. So now we got to figure out there's a balance. How are we doing this in order to be so that it is in the best interest of our students? Our students. And so that's why we're here, to make sure what we're doing is in the best interest of our students. So again, I thank you. It is a heavy weight, I'm gonna be honest, to always hear and walk into a space and all you're bombarded with is everything that's wrong. But we hear it, and we want to make sure that we continue to hear it. So it's not to discourage anybody, but just understand it takes time. So that's the end of my comments. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by treasurer Terry to adjourn the meeting. Any questions? Roll call.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Rose,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
it passes 5-0.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned at 8:27.